going to do an insight video today, and again, it's about sort of consciousness and key. I've been talking about this concept of keys of consciousness, and I've been talking about that we're all holding this vibration. We're all holding vibrations as soul beings, as infinite soul beings. The keys of consciousness relate to universal consciousness, source consciousness, or oneness consciousness, and this is connected to the infinite realities and the infinite dimensions, and the infinite realities, like I keep saying, realities of frequency, and they connect to many different sort of frequencies. Like I've been directed lately to sort of, when I was watching a YouTube clip the other day with Tim World and Diana Cooper, and there was a couple of other sort of like beings there, and I use the word beings, and it's on purpose because beings are like light beings or conscious beings, awakened beings with spiritual sort of light and energy, and we're all beings. We're beings of energy and light. We're not human in form. We are these spiritual beings. So I use the word beings because that is the technical term for it. And as beings, we're holding these frequencies within our own energy fields, and this is what the keys of consciousness are about. And it very much connects also to the Great White Brotherhood and the infinite sort of teachers and masters, and there's many different sort of beings of light and energy from different frequencies, whether you say galaxies or realities or whatever you want to term them, but they bring consciousness. They bring consciousness to the planet. And I was listening to this YouTube clip about ascension beings and ascended beings, and they were talking about like Andromeda, they were talking about Lyra, and they were talking about Hellas, and they were talking about like Atlantis and Lemuria. And all of these are again consciousness vibration frequencies that have been before, but are also coming, and they're connecting now onto the planet. And this is what this consciousness is about. And the oneness consciousness, or the oneness vibration, is very much around that. The oneness vibration is this vibration that harnesses all these different frequencies, all these different consciousness that is needed. And like with Andromeda, they were talking about they're very much around sort of bringing higher consciousness back to the planet, and a consciousness of alignment, harmony, balance. And it makes sense because a lot of the sort of like when I've been talking about in these insights and these readings, or these about very much around sort of like keys of consciousness, that we're all holding vibrations, and as souls we've incarnated in many different realities and many different dimensions. And again, this is the oneness consciousness, is the awakening, it's the understanding to the I am self, or the I am presence, which is the higher self, where we know that we are these infinite beings that are part of this one vibration, this one frequency that has always been. And that's what we return to when we move past this state of reality, and this state of reality, that we will move back to oneness, because that's where we're born from. And in my belief, especially with souls and soul consciousness, and we move past this reality, or this lifetime, and we move back to that source energy. And depending on what our purpose is, and what we've awakened to, and what we've anchored in, we are then placed in a state of reality, or state of frequency within the infinite oneness vibration, depending on what we sort of like anchored in within this lifetime. So this is why it's important that we awaken to this consciousness, and this is the notion of purpose as well, soul purposes, and in that sense, these Andromeda, Lyra, Halos, and Lemuria and Atlantis, they're all vibrational frequencies. They all have key frequencies. And this is what I mean by keys of consciousness. Each of them have a vibration frequency that is needed. And the reason why they're coming back now to this planet is because it's part of that oneness awakening, that oneness awareness, where we know that as souls and our higher selves, they're still connected. The higher self is still connected into the infinite oneness vibration. So and again, it connects to like the Great White Brotherhood, which is the masters, the angels, these ascended beings that are bringing consciousness back to this reality, this plane of existence, so we can start to shift and change reality to bring it back into harmony and bring it back into where it was before. It's a very exciting time. The feeling I get at the moment is I feel very excited. I feel very excited about the energies that are coming, and that's a good thing. It means that excitement is this sense of a new beginning, this new awakening, this new awareness. Is like this is part of what you call the universal laws, um, again of like rhythm, and it's very much around connected to that. Lyra was talking about very much connected to, if I remember rightly, it was talking about like old souls. Now the terminal of old souls, I don't know how I always sort of like try and define or like the definition of an old soul. An old soul is a being that seems to know things, that has knowing, you know, it knows things that, and it's lived many different lifetimes. It's been in many different incarnations. But again, old is like a human term, and in like in the spirit world, and the spiritual reality of oneness, time is like a blink of an eye. It's just one vibration, it's one frequency. It doesn't really exist. There's just everything just is, and has always been. So um, the consciousness of old souls hold a frequency of many different lifetimes, and wisdom and eternal truths, and that's how I see an old soul. An old soul is very much been, you know, has been lived, incarnated many times, and has access to eternal truths, eternal wisdom, oneness vibration, oneness frequency, and Andromeda, they talk about them being old souls, and they talk about them being very much connected to universal laws and universal frequency. So that was making me think as well, because the Ascended Masters have been working with me around universal laws, and I've been very much talking about universal laws for quite a few months now. So then that started making me think, well, is this like an Andromeda frequency? You know, I'm not saying I'm an Andromedan soul being, and I don't really sort of like, I've never really sort of looked at that kind of thing. I know I'm a being of light and energy. I know that I've lived in many different sort of frequencies and many different vibrations, and I know this because I can feel it, and I feel it like through my being, and through my sort of like my, you know, my spiritual essence. I know I've lived in many different lifetimes. I know I've incarnated in many different times, you know, embodied and not embodied. And but I don't really like to get caught up in sort of like labels of old souls, or you know, Andromedans, or like a Halos or Lemuria or Atlantis. They're a vibration, they're a frequency, they're an expression of the oneness vibration. um, I just see myself as a being, you know, as a being of light and energy. I don't see myself as separate, and I feel again, you know, for for teaching purposes or understanding or awareness, you understand the key frequency, the vibration of these beings of like Andromeda or Lemuria or Atlantis. It's understand the frequency that they bring, the qualities they bring, but they bring it as a collective. And again, this is really important. Oneness is about collective consciousness. It's not about singular. When we start seeing ourselves as like singular souls or singular beings, that's not how the spirit world works. That's not how oneness vibration works. That's not how oneness frequency works. And again, this is the conscious shift. Lemurian beings, Atlantean beings, Andromedan beings, Lyra beings, Halos beings all know this. They all know that, you know, we're one vibration, we're one frequency, and in the in source energy, we all know this. You know, in our spiritual higher consciousness, our higher selves, we know that we're all part of one source, that we're not separate. So this is why in my sort of like, when I talk about these kind of things, I don't really like to get caught up into sort of like separation, because separation's the illusion, and it's the one thing that keeps us dormant. It keeps us in a different vibration, not in the oneness vibration, because the oneness vibration is all about is about harmony, union, frequency. So collective consciousness is what's happening on the planet now, and this is what's happening with these ascended beings. So the ascended beings and like the masters, the angels, that's part of collective consciousness. They're working as a collective. They're all working from source energy of oneness vibration, and they're working from different vibrational frequencies all at once. And this is what the masters do, this is what the angels do, this is what all ascended beings are doing in different frequencies at the moment. They are working from a oneness vibration on a collective vibration, and this is what's needed for the planet, and this is what the awakening for us. And they work with all these different realities and dimensions, and they are sort of they are existing in many different realities and vibrations at once. And then what they're doing is as we open these channels, we are receiving that wisdom and that information from these vibrations and these frequencies, and this is how the masters are working with us. And this is the ascension process that's coming back to oneness. And this is why the universal law of oneness is such an important one to understand, and it's such an important one to start to really connect with and align with, because it allows you to always be connected, and it also allows you to open up as a channel and open up and integrate your higher being, your higher self, your infinite self, your eternal self, to the eternal moment and the eternal consciousness. But all of us, like I said, with keys of vibration, are anchors at the moment. We're anchoring in energy, and this is what I feel is really important, is that we anchor it in. I was thinking about this at work the other day, that I work in my physical role is I work with people with complex needs, and it's also like I've worked as a healer for many years, a spiritual healer and a channel, and obviously that's why I'm there. That's my purpose, that's my job, that's why I'm there, to anchor in frequencies, anchor in vibrations, and also it's about healing energy, and it's about light and energy, and just how we connect with each other, and I'm there sort of like in that way, and that's part of the purpose. And that's not by accident, that's by design that I'm there. Or in some way my higher self has placed me there. And sometimes I look at my day job, and I talk about all these kind of stuff to do with like consciousness and oneness, and it doesn't necessarily always fit in the physical reality. But again, this is part of the keys of vibration, the keys of consciousness, and the anchoring is starting to anchor that energy in and walk as that light, walk as that vibration, walk as that frequency, and create that reality. And anchoring it in is just about sort of connecting to other beings, and start to for them to awaken to their own consciousness, the oneness consciousness, the oneness vibration. And this is the purpose of why we're here. It's bringing us back into unity, harmony, and vibration and frequency. And again, this is very much connected to the other sort of vibrational frequencies I was talking about, like Andromeda, Lemuria, Atlantis, and Lyra, Halos. They're all vibrational consciousness, or keys of vibrational consciousness that are coming down back to the planet. And it's all about awakening. It's all about bringing us back into collective consciousness, into oneness consciousness. And this is what's going on for many of us at the moment. And then when people are talking about energy grids and anchoring in these new activations and stuff like that, it's very much around that. This is what this time's about. So again, this is why oneness is so important. This is why oneness, and then what I keep talking about it, and I keep talking about these keys of vibrations, and I keep talking about soul qualities and awakening to your qualities, and your vibrational frequency as a soul is so important, because you have a vibration, a frequency that is needed for this reality, for this level of spiritual sort of like for this planet, where you have a vibration, and you need to awaken to it, to bring it to this, because it's all part of the collective consciousness. It's all part of the oneness vibration that needs to come back to this planet, to this age. And this is why it's important that all of us as beings start to connect into it. And I know as I'm sitting there and talking about this, I can see some colours. I'm seeing like a turquoise here, or a sky blue, and I'm seeing like a pink, and I'm seeing like a lemon yellow, and I'm seeing like a white, and I'm seeing like a purpley sort of like indigo, not indigo, like violet sort of colour. And all of these are again part of the vibrational frequencies and the that I've been talking about. You talk about Andromeda and all these kind of different frequencies. Oneness vibration starts to bring these colours, these vibrations, these rays are again like master rays that are holding vibrations and frequencies and consciousness. We're ever connecting to them, we're ever evolving with them, we're ever sort of like aligning with them, and they're always with us. And I feel that, this is why in this age it's so important to talk about consciousness, because yeah, and this oneness consciousness, because it's what's needed. It's what's needed to shift in this age, and to evolve this age. And this is why we're all here. This is what we incarnated for. And this is why that, like I said, the oneness consciousness is working with these infinite vibrations and frequencies from these different dimensions and realities as well at the moment. And it's all about us anchoring in. So it's about us all anchoring, awakening uh, to our own sort of vibration frequency, our soul qualities, our soul vibration and frequency, which is what's needed for the planet now. That's the insight for today.